Hello, everyone. Today I'm reading you a book called The Raggedy Goat and Other Verses, a little book about all kinds of little stories. It's all illustrated by Vivian Blake, The Raggedy Goat and Other Verses. The first story is The Raggedy Goat by Sherman Ripley. This is the raggedy goat with horns on his forehead and burrs on his coat. He's not very pretty and not very neat, but you just ought to see all the things he can eat. He eats rags and paper, takes in all the news, and he eats barbed wire fences and napkins and shoes. For breakfast, a basket, including the handles. And for a light luncheon, he nibbles some candles. And once, when his hunger was specially keen, he ate both the fenders off our limousine. The next story is called The Animal Store by Rachel Field. If I had $100 to spend, or maybe a little more, I'd hurry as fast as my legs would go, straight to the animal store. I wouldn't say, how much for this or that? What kind of a dog is he? I'd buy as many as rolled an eye or wagged a tail at me. I'd take the hound with the drooping ears that sits by himself alone. Cockers and carins and wobbly pups for to be my very own. I might buy a parrot all red and green and the monkey I saw before if I had $100 to spend, or maybe a little more. The next story is The Family Dragon by Margaret Whittemore. Last night, there walked across our lawn a beast we didn't know. We saw his little footprints marked quite plainly in the snow. It might have been an ocelot or perhaps a grizzly bear. We hoped it was a dragon come out walking from its lair. We didn't want a grown-up one, all fire and scales and foam, but just a baby dragonlet that we could carry home. We keep him in the nursery and give him a nice name and have him for a family pet with ribbons on, quite tame. We tracked him down the meadow path and all along the hedge, and there his little footprints stopped close up beneath the edge. For there the snow had gone away. There wasn't any track, and it was tea time anyway, so both of us went back. But we shall go someday quite soon and find him in his lair and capture him while he's asleep and tie him up with care. And we will have the expressman come and put him in his wagon and bring him home to stay with us and be our family dragon. Our next story is The Woodpecker by Elizabeth Maddox Robert. The woodpecker pecked out a little round hole and made him a house in the telephone pole. One day when I watched, he poked out his head and he had on a hood and a collar of red. When streams of rain pour out of the sky and sparkles of lightning go flashing by and the big wheels of thunder roll, he can snuggle back in the telephone pole. Our last story is The Court Juggler. Mildred Bowers Armstrong wrote it. He wore green slippers with turned-up toes, and he could balance balls on the end of his nose. He could gather coins from his lordship's ear or tell a lady's fortune in a wink, my dear. He could stand on his head while he sang a song or turn backward somersaults all day long. Perhaps you won't believe it, but he even gained renown when he found a white rabbit in the king's own crown. The Raggedy Goat and Other Verses.